Does anybody else ever just wake up and see the news and instantly feel exhausted? Because even if you do achieve financial independence, there's not going to be much of a society to enjoy it in anyway? Just me, I guess. All right. I was talking recently about how maybe the Civil War situation down in Texas was going to cause the markets to panic and sell off a little bit, but I guess the Biden administration can't decide who they're actually going to go to war with. And now it looks like we have news that there's probably going to be a World War III after apparently an Iranian drone strike has killed Americans, and it looks like the world's just waiting for Biden to do some retaliation. If the markets dislike one thing over anything else, it's uncertainty. And while I really hope there's not going to be World War III or any kind of civil war, because obviously I don't like violence, I think just the speculation of violence could be enough to do real harm to the markets. And if this or any other kind of tensions start to escalate, then this could definitely cause ripples throughout all markets and cause a sharp sell-off before we actually find a floor and go to the upside. On the bright side, though, usually whenever we do have confirmation of a hot tension actually popping off instead of just speculation, oftentimes it will be a buy the news event as people sold off on the rumor, and then whenever they got confirmation and the uncertainty was removed, they actually will buy back in no matter how bad the news is. I'm not saying that I expect this to happen, and like I said, I really hope things don't escalate, but it's just something that we have to watch out for. And until this uncertainty is removed from the markets, I still think we might have some downward pressure to go. Well, at the time of recording, Bitcoin is still struggling to get above $44,000, which is that price target that I've been looking at for a few days now. And as you can see, it's actually maybe even putting in a little bit of a shooting star candle right here, which is the opposite of this hammer candle that obviously sent us to the upside here. And it's the same as pretty much this other shooting star candle right here that saw us have a pretty big retracement right after that was printed. The daily candle is still not closed yet, and according to this, it's 19 o'clock, so that means that we've got like 5 more hours until it closes actually. And if it doesn't close to be a shooting star, then maybe it'll be a little more bullish than I'm expecting. But like I keep saying, I'm still expecting us to come down and fill out this bear flag pattern right here, bringing us down to roughly maybe around $34,500. But I am still looking at this ascending trend line right here and this previous level of support to hopefully catch us at the bottom of this retracement and send us back for new higher highs. However, as I keep saying also, we haven't really come back down to turn this previous level of resistance right here at 31.7 into support. And it is a possibility that we could definitely come down there and turn it into support. And I think that would be pretty much max pain for the market. And as you know, usually the markets do hit max pain, so it is a possibility. Also, I've gone over a couple times how usually we do trade sideways and maybe a little bit down right before and maybe a little bit after the halving, and that's indicated by this yellow line right here. Also, usually these levels of resistance do get turned into support, and if we don't turn it into support sooner, then we'll probably have to do it later, so I'd really just prefer to get it out of the way. Maybe the next big move is actually going to come tomorrow because we do have the Fed meeting, and this is usually a pretty big catalyst to send us one direction or the other. At the time of recording, it looks like we've got basically a 98% chance of a continuation on the pause. However, it looks like the chances that we're going to see a continuation of the pause in the next meeting coming up in March continues to rise, and it looks like right now it's at about 60%, with the chances of a rate cut being at about 40%. If the Fed comes out and says anything alluding to the possibility that they're going to do a cut in their March meeting, then we'll probably see this probability go up. And obviously, if that happens, then that's going to mean that there's going to be a return of liquidity into the system. And that's going to be bullish for risk assets like cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. Today, we did get the job openings, or JOLTS, which actually came in higher than expected and even higher than last month, but just barely. And it looks like the economy is stalling out a little bit, but it's not slowing down as quickly as we're expecting it to. So maybe the Fed does have a little bit more work to do. And I think that's what the markets are basically looking forward to, is to see what they have to say tomorrow during their meeting. Later on this week, we also have initial jobless claims and non-farm payrolls, plus the unemployment rate coming out on Friday. And these might be somewhat significant catalysts. They could have an effect on the price action, but I think the main thing that we're going to be looking forward to this week is what's going to be said by Jerome Powell after the rate hike decision. And ultimately, that's probably going to be the big mover for the week. According to this article on Cointelegraph, Bitcoin ETF ads were appearing for the first time starting Monday, which was actually yesterday, and it does appear that these actually did start to get pushed out yesterday, which is generally bullish just because it's going to make more people who weren't previously aware of the ETFs actually aware now. But the most important part of this news is actually that Google has now started to allow crypto-related ads due to a policy revision, which was obviously made so that BlackRock can continue to rule the world. But this is also bullish because smaller cryptocurrency companies like exchanges and the like can probably now start to advertise on Google as well, which will hopefully renew the interest in cryptocurrency from mainstream investors. That does remain to be seen, however, and it's going to take some time for these advertisements to take effect, but it's just another sign of the crypto market heating up, and I think that this is going to be just one big company of many more to come that are going to be pushing the crypto narrative in coming months. Speaking of big companies pushing the crypto narrative, here we have an article by Cointelegraph that says Visa has enabled cryptocurrency withdrawals on debit cards in 145 countries. This isn't immediately bullish for us here in America probably, but it does make it possible for investors to actually pull their money out of cryptocurrency and cash out if they get big gains. And I think that this is going to be a boon for the cryptocurrency industry because it's going to make people feel a lot more comfortable investing if they know they can eventually pull their money out when things start to look a little shaky. Finally, and this really might be even the biggest news of the whole day, we have an article by Reuters that says, bruised by stock market, Chinese rush in to ban Bitcoin. I was talking yesterday about how Hong Kong was going to be getting cryptocurrency ETFs following the approvals of ETFs here in America. And even though since the beginning of Bitcoin, China has banned cryptocurrency several times, with the most recent being in September of 2021 when all crypto-related transactions were made illegal. This hasn't stopped the general public, though, from investing in cryptocurrency technology because while the Chinese stock market is collapsing, people still have to be able to pay their bills and retire eventually, so they're pouring their money into cryptocurrency as a safe haven. And this just goes to show that even if the American government tried to cancel Bitcoin and just totally make it illegal, there's not really much they can do because if even the Chinese Communist government with all of their social credit scores and their total surveillance state that they have created over there can't stop cryptocurrency, then I don't really think there's much that the American government can do because over here we have a little bit more freedoms. I think Chinese cryptocurrency investments are going to continue to rise, especially as their economy continues to flounder. And now that Hong Kong is probably going to be getting some spot ETFs, it's going to act as a backdoor for people to legally put their money into cryptocurrency from the Chinese mainland. But the Chinese government can tell that we can all see pretty much all of the loopholes and the corruption and everything going on. So I think it's pretty much inevitable that they're going to have to try to legalize cryptocurrency again, or else their general public might get the idea that they don't have to listen to the Chinese Communist government and they can actually get into cryptocurrency and other technologies just by going around them using a VPN. This means that the Chinese government is going to have to try to save face and keep control over their population. And while Bitcoin and cryptocurrency do offer a way out of the tyranny, if the population realizes that the Chinese government can't really stop them, then they might try to exercise their freedoms in other ways as well. And we all know the Chinese government and governments in general just really don't want that. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Will World War III send the markets down in a big panic, or is all of the money flooding in from the Chinese population going to push us up as money pours into these ETFs around the world and makes cryptocurrency explode? Either way, thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, but most importantly, don't forget to have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.